Hi there, welcome back to Kitely. So in this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how to navigate and find some interesting places to visit in virtual reality. Now, in the last tutorial, you learned how to walk, run, and fly, and I hope you had a chance to explore the island a little bit here. There's some interesting things to see. But another way to navigate in virtual reality is to teleport. Now, the easiest way to teleport is to click on this icon down here at the bottom of your viewer window, this folded map icon. That's the world map. And if I click on that, you'll see it brings me a pop-up window with an overhead view of the island. And this is us right here. And this array off to the side is the direction we're facing, the view that's in front of us. And you can see that if I turn my avatar around, the array swings with me. And then over here, if there were anyone else on the island, they would show up as a bright green dot. I have this box checked here, so it'll show me if anyone else shows up, and at the moment it appears we are alone on the island. Now, to teleport, the easiest thing to do is you just double click on the area where you want to go. Now, a word of caution, I suggest that you try to teleport towards open areas or obvious pathways. If you try and teleport into a building, there's a strong probability you might end up in a wall or underneath a floor or someplace like that. So we're going to teleport to this little landing pad over here, and I'm just going to double click, and there we are. Now, if I had inadvertently teleported someplace that I couldn't walk myself out of, I was under a building or in a ditch, you have two choices. You can either open the map back up and teleport to a location nearby and hope that solves your problem, or you can go up here to the top of the viewer window and you see these arrows, and these will take me to the most recent destination that I teleported to. So I'm just going to hit the back arrow here, and it takes me back where we were. So that's teleporting. It's as simple as that. There is another way you can teleport in-world, and that's using the mini-map over here. And this is helpful if you're traveling with a group and you lose people. If I open the mini-map, you'll see it doesn't have nearly as much detail as the world map does, but it's very convenient because if there were a group here, they'd show up as a cluster of green dots. And I just double-click near them, and it'll take me closer to where my group is. So that's teleporting. Now, to find some interesting worlds to visit, here in the Kitely Welcome Center, there is a pavilion up on the hill behind me here that has some posters of really beautiful worlds to take a look at. So let's just head on up there and see what they have to show us. Okay, here we are in the pavilion. Now, there are some really fascinating places that people have created here. Some are magical environments, some are based on science, some are sci-fi, some are based on literature, history. There's any number of things you can find to do. There's outer space exploration. We're going to try and visit this world over here. This is Transgenia. I always like to show guests this because it's so far out. So I'm going to click on that. You'll see that I get a pop-up menu here that says Transgenia is offline. Now remember, Kitely does not keep all of their worlds online 24/7. They only bring them online when they're called. So we're going to have to kill a moment or two here in the Welcome Center before Transgenia loads. But you can take a look around, and there's a lot of fascinating places to visit, and I highly recommend that you come over here and check them out. And here we are in Transgenia. And this is such a cool world. I encourage everybody to give it a visit. It takes a few moments to load, but it just shows you some of the fascinating things that people can create in virtual reality. So that's enough. We're going to go back to the Welcome Center for now. I'm going to go back up here to the left corner and I'm going to click the back arrow. And here we are back in the Welcome Center. And I always allow Kitely to change my settings. Whatever it is they suggest I do, I do. Now, another way you can find interesting places to visit is go down to the search icon down here at the bottom menu. Click on this, and it'll bring you up an in-world browser. Click on Web Search, and here we have a listing of all the different worlds that you can go visit in Kitely. And some of them are just fascinating. I recommend Australian Homelands. It's really a very complex and interesting world. But you can see that there are 261 of them, and we're not going to spend much time going over that. Now, in this search window, you can also look for other people in virtual reality, groups to join, places to visit. If you're looking to buy a parcel in virtual, this is where you do it. Events and classified ads. Sometimes people have interesting things to sell. So we're going to close that window out. So there you have it. You've learned how to teleport and you learned how to search for some interesting places in virtual reality. I hope you take some time and go visit some worlds, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.